Well, hi there. It is just after 8:30. Time to show up. I'm showing up. I'm glad you showed up. I appreciate every single one of you. Do the little YouTube dance, like, comment, subscribe, all that happy horse shit. And let's shit in the box. I have ordered my Steam controller. It's going to be here sometime. If you're paying any attention whatsoever to the launch, you know that people had trouble getting their orders in. And on top of having trouble getting their orders in, they updated the delivery window in the middle of it to where it started out being delivered in 3 to 5 business days, but by the end it was 6 to 10 business days, and they were sold out in 45 minutes. I have my order in around the 15-minute mark, so I'm hoping I'm in the 3 to 5 day range. I'm hoping that I'll have the Steam controller by the end of this week, but maybe not. I don't know. It could happen. And again, maybe it doesn't happen. There's no way to know. But that is a load off my mind to know that it's ordered, it's paid. They took my money, so they're sending one. I'm gonna get one. I just don't know whether it's the end of this week or the end of next week. I have been wishing for a new updated Steam controller for years. How many years? I don't know. The original Steam controller, I had 2 of them. This one's been parted out and taken all to bits over and over and over again. The membrane behind the buttons wore out on my other controller, so I had to cannibalize that one for it. I've replaced a number of parts with thermoplastic. When somebody did a teardown video and they showed like how it's constructed, they fixed a lot of design flaws in the original Steam controller, which is nice. That's awesome. I love seeing that they're like improving stuff beyond. There's a new button. It has a new feature. There is the bumpers are no longer flexing against a little piece of hard plastic. They are instead mounted to a moving hinge. Yeah, that's a good design. I like that design a lot better because that fucking rigid plastic breaks, and then you have to pack the inside of the bumper with plastic. I'm gonna have rumble in my controller again. I haven't had rumble in my controller for years. Oops. Oh, sorry. Wait a minute. Oh, there it is. Wondering where my clay was. Where did I put my clay? Had a big box of clay up. I talked to a fellow sculptor, and he said that if you're going to be sculpting the human head, which is very much what I'm sculpting, if you're going to be sculpting the human head and you're thinking about doing it in life size, which I'm currently not, I'm doing it in half life size, but he said you need between 5 and 10 pounds of clay. So I have 8, which I think should be enough. That should work. So 8 pounds of clay between these 3 bricks and what's on here and the little kind of lump that I've got at the edge there. 8 pounds total. I haven't made any more progress on this. I've just kind of stared at it and gone, no. I have all these tools. I have all these tools for sculpting. And here's the problem. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with all of these. What are these for? I've got this thing here, okay? I've got this brush, and it's got some stiff bristles, some soft bristles. Stiff bristles, soft bristles. Do I have that backwards? Are these stiff and these soft? I don't know. Yeah, these are the stiff ones. The black ones are the stiff ones. The white ones are soft. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that, or when I would want it to be stiff, or when I would want it to be soft. Now I'm fairly clear on when I want to use a wire loop. This is wound up oddly. Don't know how to properly unwind this. Damaging it. What a pain in the butt. This sucks. I don't know what I'm doing with all of this shit. I've got all of these tools, and I know these tools are useful. And I know you do things with these tools, but I don't always know what the things you do with them are, which is kind of problematic, I think. Now this wire, I'm aware, is for carving large pieces off of a large block of clay. But I am not sure what any of this other stuff is for. See, it's like this. Yeah, I get this. Okay, I understand this part. Okay, I understand this bit. I understand what this piece is for. I understand what you do with it. But everything else, I mean, what good? How are you supposed to put this away? How are you supposed to store this? I mean, you have to open it up to get it out, but once you've gotten it out, it's like, now what? Now how do you put it away? Just like wind it up, and then I think you have to wind it up and then push one of the handles through. That's like the bare minimum of what you have to do is put one of the handles through. Put some Windex on it. I have no idea what to do. Most of these damn tools, I don't know what they're for. See, now it doesn't want to sit down. Look at this. It's popping out all over the place. Is this some kind of sick joke? Okay. So maybe you have to wrap it through like several times? Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Somebody is watching this and laughing their ass off and going, I don't even know what to do with the wire thingy. That's true. I don't know what to do with the wire thingy. I don't know what to do with anything. There we go. Now it's at least trying to stay together, but okay. It's trying to hold together. I'm gonna call that good. I'm going to shove that in there. There we go. Don't go anywhere. I got this wire thingy. It's very, very stiff. I don't know what that's for. I think that's for when you're working with water-based clay and you have to stick it together with slip, and you want to score the clay and put the slip on there and use it like glue. I think that's what that's for. Didn't want to go in. There we go. And this is scary. It's like a little needle. Very, very sharp. Like, that's just there for you to stab yourself with as you're messing around with these. But there's all kinds of stuff in here, and I don't know what it's for. It's like, I have literally 20 different sized balls. They go from this large size here, okay, all the way down to this teeny tiny small size here. And I don't know why I don't know why I have so many of them. What would you need them for? What are you supposed to do with these? Clearly they're useful for something. And these are awful because these are like apparently for taking like plugs of clay out of a large block, but then the clay gets stuck in them. I suppose if you're working with water-based clay, you just wash it out. I understand how to use the rib. I understand what that's for. That's fairly simple. But there's just all of this stuff, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it. I don't I don't know how to match what I'm trying to do with the clay to the right tool for doing it. And that's very frustrating. I don't understand what these different tools accomplish. And that's very frustrating. As I've said repeatedly, it's a frustrating thing to deal with, not knowing what the fuck you're doing. It's hard not to know what the fuck you're doing. Because you can't do anything. You don't know what the fuck you're doing, so you can't do anything. I have been waiting so long for the new Steam controller, and now I've finally ordered it. And it's really weird because it was like I ordered it, and right after I ordered it, I was like, this is the first thing I've ordered from Steam in a very, very long time that I couldn't just immediately download and have. Usually when I buy through Steam, it's like a digital purchase, and it's something immediate. It's something I can have now. It's something that I can play with immediately. But I have to wait for this. This is a physical object. I have to wait for it to be shipped. And that's weird with Steam stuff. It's a very weird thing. I'm not used to that. It is strange. I have spent the entire last week consumed with the whole expectation of ordering the Steam controller. And now I have ordered it, but it's not here. And there's this emptiness, there's this space where I was all excited about the Steam controller, and now I've ordered it and it's going to be here, and I'm sitting here going, okay, like, I guess that's what we wanted here, right? The anticipation and expectation of a cool thing that leads up to a point where you have to do something and then you do it and then nothing. It's very strange. Almost everything that I do is digital. And when I do something that's not digital, that's like physical, when I get like physical stuff, it shows up like that because, I order most of my stuff from Amazon. People still get mad at Jeff Bezos for what's going on at Amazon. Jeff has nothing to do with what's happening at Amazon. He has no role at the company now. Everybody's like, Jeff Bezos, you bastard. He's like, the fuck did I do? I'm building rockets over here. I don't have anything to do with Amazon anymore. Fuck you people. But his face is associated with it. He's the guy that came up with all of the improvements and all of the inventions that made Amazon the incredible platform it was. And it took off and it made a buttload of money. And he's like, all right, great job. I've been working my arse off for 12 years. I'm fucking leaving. And he left, and now everybody's mad at him because after he left, everybody's like, maybe we should treat our employees like garbage? There's this huge myth that the people at the top want to treat the people at the bottom like shit, and that's not it. It's that the people at the top hire people in the middle, and the people in the middle think the only way to make the people at the top happy is to treat the people at the bottom like shit. Or sometimes that's the only way to keep the people in the middle happy, because they like to treat people like shit. But the people at the top generally understand. It's generally understood at the top levels of any company that you cannot deliver a good product if you treat your employees like shit. They don't want the employees treated like shit. They never have. They never will. And it usually happens behind their back. It's just like people talk about Amazon warehouse workers. Or they have to piss in jars. They don't have to piss in jars. They're afraid. They're afraid that if they go to their manager and say, hey, I got to go pee, that their manager is going to go, you can't go pee, you have to work. Just go pee. Just go to the bathroom and pee. And if your manager bitches at you about it, say, look, I had to pee. I'm a human being. I had to pee. Fuck off. If you get fired because you had to pee, then you could sue. But if you sneak off into the corner and piss in a bottle, well, now you're the problem. People don't seem to understand this shit. They just really don't. I see people do dumb shit all the time, and they go, I have to do this dumb shit because I have made up in my head that if I didn't do this dumb shit, a bad thing would happen. Yeah, but you made that up. You understand you made that up, right? Like that's not a real thing. If I ask to go to the bathroom, they'll fire me. They can't. You understand that, right? It's illegal. They can't fire you for needing to go to the bathroom. That's a thing you're allowed to do. Well, they'll do it anyway. Yeah, and that's a shitty boss that you don't want to work for, so go get a different job. Well, I can't get a better job than this. Maybe that's a you problem? I don't know. It just feels like so many people honestly feel like they're tricking their employer into employing them. And they have no confidence in their ability to trick another employer. Well, stop tricking your employer. Just like do a good job. Do your fucking job. Well, they have ridiculous expectations. Then tell them the expectations are ridiculous. Push back on it. But what if I get fired? Then you got fired from a job with ridiculous expectations. Look, if they tell you that you have to do 2 hours of work in an hour, you can either try to do the 2 hours of work in an hour and fuck it up and get fired, or you could tell them that would take 2 hours and I can't do it in 1 hour. And then if you get fired, well, that's the same thing, except you didn't have to do 2 hours of work in 1 hour. And people don't properly appreciate burnout. It's like, I used to write those shitty articles that you find on blogs that, you know, sometimes you go to a blog and they'll say, hey, here's an article about bird feeders. And the article is like, are you thinking about using a bird feeder? A bird feeder can be very useful. You might want to put a bird feeder in your yard. Having a bird feeder in your yard is nice. Let's talk about how to put a bird feeder up. Now, the right kind of bird feeder that you want to use, the point is to say bird feeder over and over and over. So if somebody goes and types bird feeder into Google, your website comes up. This doesn't work. A lot of the time you get hired to do shit that doesn't work and you just roll your eyes and you do it anyway. So in any case, I got hired one time to do 100 articles that were 300 words each. And I went, I wonder if I could do that in a day. And I did. I did that in a day. I wrote 30,000 words in a day. And they sucked. And it took me 2 days to go back and edit them so they didn't suck. And then I delivered them to the client. And then I was just completely fucking wiped. I was so absolutely burned out by writing 30,000 words in a day and then having to edit 30,000 words over the next 2 days. And, you know, really, 5,000 words a day is a substantial output, okay? Like, that's fucking massive, okay? So, delivering those 100 articles in 6 days would have been reasonable. Okay, it would have been a reasonable amount of work to do. It would have still been like shockingly productive. But no, I had to try to do 30,000 in a day and I fucked it up and I had to redo it and it took me 2 days to redo it. So I did 30,000 words in 3 days. 10,000 words a day is too fucking much. I was able to deliver, but I was completely fucking wiped for like 2 or 3 days. And I should have just taken 6 days to do it. And I find that over and over again. I find over and over again that if you pace yourself and you do the job in the amount of time that the job takes, you get the job done, you get the job done fairly well, and you can move directly on to the next job. But when you try to do an outrageous amount of work really, really fast, you do a shit job and you got to go back and you got to do it over again. And you can't go back and do it over again as fast. You got to slow down. So you do the job and then you do the job again, only slower. And then you're completely fucking burned out from how hard you work to get the job done that fast. And you got to take some time off from it. And it winds up being about the same amount of time that it would have been if you just did the job right in the first place. I saw this happen a lot as a project manager. I saw people do this. And I've talked about this before. It's like you'll tell somebody, hey, I need you to do this thing. How long is it going to take you? And the guy will say, all right, it'll take 2 weeks. Okay, I'll book 3 weeks for it. All right. And then he fucks around for a week because he thinks he can do it in 2 weeks. That's a mistake. And then after fucking around for a week, he goes in and he looks at it and he starts connecting the dots on what he needs to do. And he goes, oh, I can do this in a couple of days. I don't need to worry about this. I can take another week off. So he takes another week off. And then he goes, now I can do this couple of days work and then it'll be done. And I can go in and go, hey, it's done. Couple of days early. And then he does that couple of days work and he goes, ooh. Yeah, this is going to take me another week. It might actually take me another 2 weeks. And it turns out that after fucking around for 2 weeks, and now he's only got 1 week to do it, and now he needs a week extension, and he might need 2 weeks extension. Hey, presto, the job might take 3 weeks. It's gonna take 2, it might take 3. And I sit there and I just want to tear my hair out. I just go, this is why I tried to give you that extra week. If you had done the work in the beginning, like you should have, it would have been done. Yeah, but then you would have given me more work. Yeah, and you would have gotten paid for work instead of being paid to fuck off. And if we're paying you to fuck off, guess who goes on the bottom of the list when we're deciding who to keep in the next round of layoffs? There's a thing we do with layoffs, too. Nobody really talks about this. At any given point in time in your company, you have a group of people that are improving. They're getting better at their job. And you have another group of people that are starting to phone it in. They're getting worse at their job. They're starting to suck. They're starting to go, yeah, I don't really care about this job. I just don't like it here that much. I don't want to do a good job. I feel like I shouldn't have to work as hard as I work. So what you do is you do this constant hiring thing where you have these people on your team and you've got, like, say, 20 people. Well, now you go hire 10 more people. You hire 10 more entry-level people. And you hire them in about 6 months, and then you just, you wait, like, a year and a half. You give it, like, a total of 2 years. So over the course of 2 years, you hire these additional 10 people. Now you got 30 people. You don't need 30 people. You only need 20 people. So at the end of that 2 years, you take the top 20 people and you lay off the other 10. Because some of those 10 people you hired didn't improve. And because they didn't improve, you can't keep them. You need people that are going to continue improving. And some of the people that you already had before you hired those 10 people have started to fuck up. They've started to drop off. They're not performing as well as they used to perform. Hit the brakes, buddy. We don't need you on this team anymore. We need the top 20 people from these 30. And once you lay off those people, once you get rid of them, you hang out for a while, and then you go and you say, we'll hire 10 more people. And that's why you see this. You see these rounds of hiring where they talk about overhiring. You're not overhiring. It's literally the plan. You want to increase the size of your team by 50%. And then you want to put a hiring freeze on so you can watch the people that you just hired. And then at the end of the 2 years, or however long you're going to run the study, you can do it fast. You can do it on a 1-year cycle. At the end of your cycle, after you evaluate your people, well, now you just cut your force. You do a 30% RIF. And that's a thing that people do all the time in companies. And nobody really talks about it. But it's smart business. And the entire purpose of it is to identify the people who aren't performing so you can get rid of them. Every team has people that aren't performing, and you need to get rid of them and replace them. So what you do is you replace them first and then get rid of them later. And those people from the new 50% that you hired that worked there for 2 years, they're like, I was fired for no reason. You were fired for not getting as good as they thought you were going to get. You're not owed continued employment. You're just not. You should be grateful that you got the 2 years that you did. And if you didn't fuck up, if you didn't do anything wrong, the reality is you're going to leave this position. They do the layoffs, and because it's the layoffs, you didn't actually fuck up. You can go to another company. You can say, I worked at this company and I did stuff. And they did a reduction in force. I was riffed and they kicked me out. And, it was just reducing the head count. So, I didn't fuck up. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm just not there anymore. And when the new company calls your boss and goes, hey, so I wanted to call and ask you, what's up with him? He's like, why'd he get let go? Oh, we just laid him off. No reason. We just laid him off. He didn't fuck up. He didn't do anything wrong. And you can go from company to company to company to company. And you can do 2 years here and 2 years there and 2 years here and 2 years there. If you're contracting and you contract the same place, contract after contract after contract after contract, like I did at Microsoft, that usually means you're doing a good job. You're just not quite the kind of person that they want to hire full time. Microsoft hires young people. They don't really hire older people full time. And I didn't start working at Microsoft until I was I was almost 30. I was past 30. I was like 35 when I started working at Microsoft. And I worked there for 4 years. Contract after contract after contract. I really liked working at Microsoft, but I interviewed there again, and it's a different company. It's a different company, and it has a different culture, and the management is different, and the employees are different, the campus is different. It just doesn't feel the same anymore. It didn't feel like a place I belonged anymore. Anyway, I'm just kind of rambling. So I don't know. Do a little YouTube dance, like, comment, subscribe, all that happy horse shit. And okay, bye.